I know things you never see. You never see someone taking a shit while running at full speed.
Come on, kid, get rid of some of them turds in the shit box.
Welcome to the Bathroom Break Podcast with me, Rab himself. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Rab from the Bathroom Break Podcast. Just wanted to take a minute to thank you all for listening to the podcast. It's been a lot of fun to sit down with some really interesting people and shoot the shit, talk all that poop and stuff. But, yeah, we want to try and make this thing better for you, so we're going to need to raise some funds. If you head over to greengate.bigcartel.com, there's a donation link there. If you feel so inclined to donate to the Bathroom Break Podcast, awesome. If not, sit back and listen. We're going to talk some crap.
You sound amazing. These headphones, I sound amazing. Oh, yeah, I really hear the radio voice is here. Welcome to Rab's podcast.
Yeah.
What is it called? What's your podcast called?
Bathroom Break.
Perfect title.
Yeah.
Perfect. It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
We got Rick over there farting up a storm, and that wind you hear right now is actually Rick's fart. Yeah.
He's a constant flame in the background.
Oh, man. Welcome to the Bathroom Break Podcast. I'm your host, Rab himself, and today I have an awesome guest. Chris Aiken, bassist of Strung Out, is here, and it's getting windy.
Yeah, those are farts. Hi, what up? I am honored to be here. Great to be here.
Dude, yeah, thanks for coming on. I had no idea that you were going to have to sit in the windstorm that is Rick Kosick's farts. But
I do it from time to time. We do hang on a lot, but he's extra gassy today, so good thing we're outdoors.
It sounds like a thunder rumbling through.
Yeah,
That is.
It's girthy.
We are maybe going to need a wind.
Yeah.
I mean, should I just put my sock on it? Oh, that cut it down a little. Let's see. Does he have one? He probably doesn't want us talking to my sock.
Here, I'll do mine.
This is how they came up with it, right? Oh, man, you got a good sock game going on. Wow.
Oh, yeah, how's it?
I don't know that it's doing anything, but
It's definitely helping a little.
I think it looks good.
Help a little bit? Okay.
It's a good way to
I'm glad
start.
they could see this, too. It's
Yeah.
like, look at these mics. That's awesome.
Dope mics. Hell yeah. Oh, and now the wind goes down. All right.
So now we know you wear ankle socks, I wear tube socks. We're getting very personal here.
Very personal here on the Bathroom Break Podcast, but we're gonna start some porn shoot here soon because we're walking past all the people in the park with cameras, and Chris decides to let them know that we're gonna get naked.
I mean, why not? We're very close to Chatsworth, the porn capital of the world. We're not far, so why not just go with the flow?
Oh man, yeah, dude. So well, thanks for coming on, man. I'm psyched to have you on. The first time I ever met you was at one of your shows. It was actually Wee Man has the Chronic Tacos down in Hermosa, and we went to you guys played a show right after that.
Yeah, it was a random last minute thing that our old drummer Jordan is good friends with Colin Morrison, Scummy from the Metal Militia, and Scummy knows Weeman very well, so it was like a last minute, like, hey, you want to play this thing? And we're like, yes. And we came down, and
it was rad.
Yeah,
man.
that was like a few years ago. Yeah, but it was really cool. We played outside. It's very punk rock.
Yeah, it was cool as hell. Just the fact that because when I was going down with Rick, he was like, yeah, dude. He's like, Strung Out's gonna play. I'm like, what? They're playing right there. And then we get there, and it was like, have a couple burritos, and then go out and hit some fucking punk rock.
Dude, I ate so much food after we played because I was like saving myself. All right, I'll wait till we were done, and then I went inside, and like Weeman's like, yeah, anything you want, dude. I'm like, anything? So like I ate like nachos, like 6 tacos. Yeah, it was killer. It was awesome.
Yeah, dude, it is rad. I know.
I farted the whole way home.
Yeah.
The whole way home. It's just like, it's like kind of like what Kosick's doing right now.
Yeah, I know. He must have had some chronic tacos before we got here.
There it is. Oh, damn, Rick, that's a gnarly one. It's like Godzilla farts. Yeah. Oh God, it's a big one. Oh God.
It's weird. They don't smell, but but they're loud.
They're very loud.
Oh man. So dude, I wanted to get into it though, and kind of hear your story about your musical journey a little bit. What got you into playing music, and then also just like how you got involved, and I know that you came in the band Strung Out a little after they had already started.
Yeah.
But I wanted to hear a little bit of that.
Yeah, totally.
That story.
I mean, dude, music for me was like, I was born in Florida, moved to Colorado, and then I moved to Los Angeles in like 82. I was like 7. And it was MTV, man. Like MTV.
Hell yeah.
And radio. Like this old radio station called KMET.
Wait, hold on. MTV played music?
Yeah, back when MTV was a thing, before reality shows just dominated. It was MTV, man. Like watching videos, and I just moved to Thousand Oaks in '82, and it was fucking MTV. It was like, holy shit, me and my sisters would just watch MTV all the time, and I just got into like Ozzy Osbourne, Quiet Riot, Rat. Twisted Sister, like it was just like all that shit, and like when Motley Crue came out, I was like, fuck. When I heard like Looks at Kill, I was like blowing my mind. But I was like, back then I knew like I wanted to be in a band, and I got a guitar pretty quick after that. Like within like the next year, I got a guitar at a garage sale, and then I got it, and I was like, okay, I can't play, and like I was very impatient, and but I had it around still, and it wasn't probably till like 2 years later I just said, fuck it, I'm just going to learn how to fucking play this thing. And I just stuck with it. And then by the time I got into junior high, it was like other people played. Oh, you play too? And then, you kind of meet more people. Then it's like, let's jam. Then it was that shit. And then eventually I had my first band in high school. And, we played some shows and played the Quad at lunch. That was like my big show.
Yeah.
It was like your dream show, like playing in front of like that girl you had a crush on. Like, fuck yeah, I'm playing school tomorrow.
That's what I do.
It's what I do. And it was cool,
Yeah.
But it was like that moment of like, that show was like, fuck yeah, like I have to do this, and then it was a few years later, I moved to the neighboring town, Simi Valley, which is right next to Thousand Oaks, and that's where the band Strung Out was from. And Strung Out was one of those bands that got signed. It was like Strung Out and Incubus were all from our area, and it was like I remember hearing about Incubus getting signed, and then when Strung Out got signed, it's like, oh yeah, those are like the heroes. Like, you got signed, like
for
back
real.
in the day, like getting signed is like a fucking big deal.
Dude, that's it. I feel like that's all you were working towards.
Yeah, pretty much. Now it's like, I mean, I can do like just do a song right now on my phone and put it out there, and and start my own tour and whatever, and sell it on iTunes. But it was definitely a very different beast back then. But I moved to Simi Valley. And
here comes Rick with another.
Yeah, Rick, that's a huge one from this damn Rick. That's oh my god, holy shit!
Batten down the hatches.
Yeah, what'd you eat, dude? That was insane. I moved into Simi Valley, and it was like steps getting closer and closer to Strung Out, and like I met those guys, and then. I was buying weed from like the guitar player at one point.
Yeah.
And it was just like this journey of just like going to punk rock shows, getting into that whole scene, and then kind of putting it out there in the universe. When I heard Strung Out's second record, it was so different than their first record. It was like way more metal and just like.
Dude, I noticed that. Like, I feel like they they're punk, or you guys are punk,
right?
But it's also like there's some like death metal, like drum beats, like there's just like a collaboration of all types of music. Like that's what it at least sounds like to me.
Totally.
Like some of the bass, and I don't know, is it double bass on?
Yeah.
So then it's like there's like double bass stuff happening. I'm like, damn, it sounds like death metal, like bass or drum wise.
Right.
And then it sounds like punk guitar wise, like, and then it's like all over.
Yeah,
so
it's pretty much like I describe to people. I go, yeah, we're kind of like Iron Maiden, Metallica meets like Bad Religion, Pennywise. It's like this morph,
absolutely,
like,
and that's what's so fucking rad about it.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I think that's what merely makes our band different and kind of have this really like this cult following that we have. We have very incredible fans around the world, and very devoted, and they all have our tattoos. Like, it's crazy. Like, I remember the first time seeing a tattoo of our atom symbol we have. We call it the Astrolux. It's like the name of this atom symbol that we kind of made up. And more and more people have that, have lyrics, and it's crazy. But I remember hearing that second record, and I just moved to Simi Valley, and I remember just kind of going, dude, like, this is the shit I'm playing on guitar right now. Whoa, Cossack! Oh my God, we're going down.
Just fight through it.
Just fight through it. Just fight.
Just all this methane.
I can't breathe. But yeah, I remember hearing that second record and just being so blown away by it, and just
That blown away.
Yeah, literally, yeah. Blown away like that. And I remember kind of putting that in the universe too, kind of like going, I'm going to be in this band one day. Like, I don't know how, but I just remember thinking that, like, I'm going to be in this fucking band one day. Like, this is the shit I'm playing. This is crazy. And then it was 2 years later when their guitar player, Jake, hit me up. It was like, hey, our bass player is not working out. The guy, Jim Cherry, that was the guy that started the band. And, it ended up being this thing where, like, I ended up playing bass in the band. I'm like, whoa, I'm a guitar player. But it was crazy that. And then, like, by the time January of '99 came around, I was playing my first show with them, and I was going on tour. It's crazy. And now it's been 20 years. And,
dude, that's like the power of manifesting things.
Yeah, dude, totally. Totally, yeah.
For real. But who would have thought, like, here you are, a guitar player going, I'm going to be in that band.
Yeah.
Who would have known that you're going to end up playing bass?
Right,
Like,
yeah,
it's
I
like,
didn't see that one coming.
Did you, like, I mean, did you play a bunch of different instruments?
Anyway,
like, kind of?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, I could play, I can noodle on bass and drums. Like, I always like playing my drummer's drums. Like, when you take off, you go smoke a cigarette, you're just playing, like, Megadeth or trying to, like, play something. But I was getting kind of good, and I could play piano, kind of, like, I can pull it off. But my guitar is always my thing. But, bass, it seemed like, it'll be easy. It's just, it's 2 less strings, so way easier, right? But
completely,
but it was challenging, because it was they're fatter strings.
Yeah.
And it was like, and I kind of approached it at first like being a guitar player playing bass, and then over the years, I really learned to be a bass player. With our drummer at the time, Jordan was, really. Hey man, you got to match me on these fills. I'm like, oh really? Like, because I'm used to playing guitar and like, follow me. Yeah. I'm the leader, but it was different. So I really became more adaptive to that and learning about bass players and getting into bands because of the bass, So crazy journey. Now it's all these years later, and the band's still around, still relevant, and especially this day and age with music, record labels and. No one sells records anymore. Like, it's so hard.
So how do you kind of navigate that? Like, do you now, like, do you guys put out just single stuff or do you do the whole album? Because don't you have a new album coming out?
Yeah, we have a new album coming out this summer, and we're still on the same label, Fat Records.
Hell
it's Fat Mike from NoFX.
Yeah.
It's his label. He started back in '93.
That's fucking rad.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
We're still on his label, and that label's been good to us. They've been really good, and we've never left. And we just keep putting out records. We'll do them every few years, and this is our next one, and it's with our new drummer RJ on it, and it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, hell yeah,
we're
dude.
Pretty excited.
It's like to hear that.
Yeah, it's like a brand new chapter. With having any new band member. It's you're in this relationship with your band. It's you're married to 4 other people, 4 other dudes.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Fuck yeah. I mean, I always tell people, I go like, what's it like being on tour? I'm like, you know what? I see some of the most romantic, beautiful places with 4 other dudes.
Yeah. Hold my hand, man. Just come on.
Yeah, like it's pretty much like that all the time. But with any dynamic, it's this relationship. So, when Jordan was out of the band, having RJ in, with anybody having a new band member, it's nice. It's a nice change.
And so Jordan played drums and he took off, or
it was it was just a thing that happened last year.
Now you gotta like kind of find a new dance with RJ or whatever.
Yeah,
sort of,
exactly.
Right?
And RJ's a lot younger than us too.
He
just turned 29.
He's got a lot of energy.
Yeah, so he's got a lot of energy, and he's very passionate and driven, and he's great. He's a great dude. And it's just awesome. It's been a nice journey this last year.
That's rad. And so he plays on the new album.
Yeah, he plays on the new record.
Okay, cool. So do you take like a new approach to like releasing it? Like like because of the iTunes stuff?
Yeah, you're right. Like when our last record came out in 2015, it was different because now it was like Spotify and all that shit was out. And before, when like a new record would come out, you're like, all right, what's the quote unquote single? All right, save that song and let's do a video for it. Then that's gonna be the song that we release.
Okay.
Now you don't do that. Now it's like, you have your single if you're doing a video, but you save that song because now you got to put a song up first on Spotify for free. All right, we're gonna play a song. And then we're going to stream another song after that. So what song do you want to put out first?
Yeah,
You're like, well, shit, like, I don't know. Like, what song? I want them to hear this song first.
Right.
But now it can't be that song. It's going to be, I don't know, what song? And then we're all fighting over what song it is. And then,
Damn.
Oh, I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
So now it's different.
Yeah, and I feel like that's like kind of a crazy like approach because you do want to put your best foot forward, but then at the same time, now you got to not do that, but you don't want to put the one you feel is like maybe not your strongest. I mean, obviously when you make an album, you're like, we feel they're all strong.
Yeah,
but
totally, yeah,
but in your heart or someone else, and I bet you your favorite is, your favorite song is probably different than the next guy's.
Absolutely,
but it's a tough thing to say. Hey, let me put out this one that I don't think is our strongest, like our single.
Right. Yeah, it is. It is.
It's weird.
Like that. Yeah, and then
let me get you interested by one that I don't think is going to get you interested.
I hope you like it. Like, I
hope you sort of
so.
like it so that you really like this
Dude,
one.
totally. And then, and then after that, like the week that it comes out, like your record comes out, like say next Friday, and then like it'll be like that Monday they'll stream your whole record on Spotify. For free. And so it's weird. Then, like, I'm sorry, I kind of spit on you.
Yeah, you got a sock in the way. That'll catch all of that.
I got a sock. But I'm projecting right now, getting excited. But yeah, now like your whole album will stream. Like the whole thing. So it's weird
for
like
free
for free. Yeah. So it's a weird thing.
For free for you, but not for free for Spotify. Spotify somehow is collecting something.
Yeah, they're collecting something, and it's been weird. Like the whole, adjusting to that.
I wonder. Yeah, I wondered about that, and I don't know how much you could even actually talk about that. But it is a strange thing because I think like SoundScan stuff, you would be able to know like what you're selling and all that. And at this point, it's like, I mean, do you really know?
Yeah, it is. There's the plus and negative to it. It is great when you are going to some crazy small town in South America. There's no record store, but
now they already have.
They can come to your show and like 300 kids show up in this sweaty ass club and sing all your songs. Like,
hell yeah.
It's pretty sick.
Yeah.
And again, to me, it's all worth it to still do what you love. To still be a kid and play your instrument. I still like. I'm always honoring like 16-year-old Chris. I'm always being that guy still stuck in a 44-year-old body.
Yeah.
I want to be that kid still. But sure, like you do have to be reality and be like, yeah, well, I make money off this. This pays my bills and lets me live.
Well, it's so that you can keep doing it too. And it's like
absolutely.
and I mean, it's a rare few that get rich from that, but it was funny. So all in all, that Lars was totally right.
Dude, honestly, you know what? Like he was, like
he was.
That's a great point to bring up.
And everybody would be like, "Oh, you're rich." He's like, "I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about the new artist that's doing that." And it's like, hey, he was totally right.
Dude, you know what? You're right because I bring that point up a lot to people, and I've met him like a few times randomly, like playing a festival.
Yeah.
And I had a thing where I met him at a Metal Blade's Christmas party. I'd always go to those because I know Brian Slagle, the guy that owns Metal Blade, and I'm name dropping right now. But,
hell yeah.
But
drop him away.
Yeah, but Lars showed up this one time, and it's like Lars and Robert Trujillo showed up, and it's like everyone's like, oh fuck, But I went up to him and talked to Lars, and I told him, well, dude, hey man, I just want to tell you thank you for doing that shit you did with Napster.
Sticking your neck out there.
You stuck up for us, dude.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that because you got a lot of shit for that. And dude, he's like, dude, thank you. Like, wow. Like he was actually, fucking that's real nice of you. Fucking,
damn, that's pretty good.
So sweet.
That's a good Lars.
Yeah, but he was really cool about it. And but I was like, yeah, you know what? They were sticking up for, for our whole scene, for all of music. I mean, it's funny. I was watching a movie last night, Green Book. That new movie came out, and like actually any movie that comes on now on DVD, it's like, piracy is a crime, $250,000, sentence, fine or 5 years in prison. I'm like, okay, what about fucking me? Like, what about my music? Like nothing?
Yeah, seriously. Just have it.
Like, all right.
Enjoy it.
That's hard.
Dude, I always laugh at that thing. So there's this skit on Amazon, Women on the Moon. It's this movie, like it's kind of like Kentucky Fried Movie.
Oh, I love that movie.
But Amazon, Women on the Moon was this movie, and like there's this thing called video pirates, and they steal all the videos, and then this thing comes up, and it's like $250,000 fine, and the guy's like, oh, I'm so scared. then they steal all of, like, the laser discs and VHS and yeah, it was a movie back in the, like, I think early 90s, but hilarious. But no, man, yeah, that is like a great point, because I think he stuck his neck out there. But, obviously Metallica is one of the biggest bands of all time.
Yeah.
So they're like, well, you're rich, shut up. But it's like he wasn't talking about them. He was talking about the people that are coming up.
The whole record label,
yeah.
the whole scene, the whole music industry. And it's so different now.
And you think about that, too, even with films, though. I mean, they have that warning. But even in the film industry, like, it got hit too because of streaming and all this other stuff, and and it's like, it's not everybody is Steven Spielberg. There's the guy out there that's trying to make a movie to get known, and he's like maxing out credit cards and remortgaging his home to make this movie.
That's awesome.
And then you're not getting credit where credit's due, and so I don't know. I mean. It's not to sound like you're just some bitchy, like, creative, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, you want to be able to make enough money to live so that you can keep doing that and keep putting your creative stuff out there.
You're right. Like, I'm not here to fucking just live in my car because I'm living my dream.
I want to
live.
That's the end of the show. I'm gonna go sleep in the back seat of the car.
Because that's what I do. Like 6 months, 6 months out of the year, I'm sleeping in a van or like a bus, whatever.
Exactly.
But I do love that when you hear those stories about people that like wrote their script while working at Tower Records, or like maxing out his fucking credit card, but this movie became this fucking gnarly movie. Like, I think that movie Hollywood Shuffle. Have you seen that movie? Like, that's a movie like where he did that. Robert Townsend did that. He just maxed all his shit, and he like did it full punk rock. He made everyone wear like UCLA like film student stuff, so they can like film on the streets and not get in trouble. But he did it. It's like, I love that shit, and hearing stories like that.
Yeah.
And just because that's how you do it. That's putting your heart out there and just going for it, and being fearless. Yeah, I love that shit.
Hell yeah. Or you just manifest being in Strung Out at some point, and then all of a sudden you show up and you're the bass player.
Yeah. All of a sudden, come on, Tesla, just give me a Tesla. I want 20 tacos right now.
Dude, yeah, that's so cool. So okay, so as you come into the band, I think you might have mentioned it, but your first show, like what was that like when you got up there? Like, what was that feeling when you're going, man, this is the band I always knew I should be in, and here I am, I'm in this band and we're playing this show.
Dude, it was a crazy, like, weird, like, week. Yeah, all of a sudden, like, that call, and then like, hey, like, learning all these songs. We have a show on Saturday and Sunday. We're playing. Saturday was sold out at the Ventura Theater. Sunday was sold out at the Glass House in Pomona. I jammed with the band that Thursday. Met all the guys. I met the drummer before.
Met him on Thursday?
Yeah, I met the other guitar player. I've known him. So I was learning some songs earlier, and then I stopped, and it was really going to happen. I was like, shit. So it was kind of like, like barely eating, like, and just fucking, just playing like nonstop. And that first show, I seriously, I think I moved like a foot, like, okay, I'm gonna walk to the left. I was just so nervous, like, overthinking,
making sure
just
you
don't
remembered,
fuck up.
yeah.
And it's just like this fucking crazy, I was tripping, it was like surreal. And then the next day, I was like, I let loose. I was like, yeah, like, I was like, I let it out. And then still, like, dude, that first year, I was having those moments of tripping out, because it's like, they were my favorite band. They're like, that band was like, this is like the shit I'm playing on guitar. I got to be in this band. Then it was happening, and it was a trip. And I was like, whoa, dude, like, what's going on? Like,
that's wild.
Yeah.
So did you know, like, some of the songs? I mean, I guess maybe did you know them on guitar, but then
I was learning some stuff here and there. And then it came up like a few months before that, like in October of '98, where I knew about the bass player that was going to be, out of the band soon. So I started learning the songs on bass. I borrowed my friend Tyler's bass. I was learning the songs because a guitar player hit me up, and then all of a sudden they had this other guy playing bass. Like, I'm like, oh, like, I thought I was going to audition, and then nothing happened. They had this guy, Craig.
Okay.
This guy Craig was
son of a
bass.
bitch.
Yeah, I was like, fuck.
I manifested this.
This is my dream. So it almost happened, and then nothing happened, and then it was like, 3 months later, all of a sudden I got that call again, and I was like, oh. And then by the time when it came around again, I was like, I wasn't so attached to it because I
you already had to, yeah.
And I was like, all right, well, look, I'll do it only if I get the jam this time, because the last time I didn't get the jam with you guys, and I was bummed. You know, I wasn't like, fuck you guys, but I was a little bummed, you know.
Oh,
like,
because
worked my ass off.
exactly.
But I was like, all right, you know, whatever, cool. And I even remember going to my band at the time and asking my guys, going, yeah, Strung Out hit me up again and about jamming. I don't know. And they're like, dude, fucking do it.
Yeah. You're
you
trying to
think
play it
so?
cool.
Like, I was like, I don't. Yeah,
you're like, I don't want to get all fucked up over this again. So I'm just gonna.
I don't want to break my heart again.
Yeah.
I couldn't sleep for like weeks. You know?
Yeah. So you jammed with them now for 20 years.
Yeah. Now,
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, it was a crazy week. That
Yeah.
whole week and a half, and it was so fast. And then just all of a sudden, it was like, we did those shows, and we're like, hey, we have a tour coming up, in like that leaves in like 2 weeks. Can you do it? And I was like, holy shit, like, yeah, you know, and I did it. And then next thing you know, like, we did that tour, and then the next tour was like, hey, we're going on tour to Canada with Bad Religion. Can you do that tour? And I still didn't know if I was like in the band yet. You know, I'm like, am I in the band? But I was like too nervous to ask.
Yeah.
You know, but and then the next tour was like, hey, we're going on tour with Pennywise and All. Like, can you do that tour too? Like,
Fuck yeah.
I guess I'm gonna have to quit my job because I can't hold, you know, juggle both right now. But yeah, it's crazy. Then all of a sudden it's like, you know, yeah, I guess I'm in the band. You know.
Yeah.
And, you know, I remember like doing that first photo shoot and my friends going, so are you in the band? I'm like, I don't know, dude. I remember being at work and just kind of like in my fucking cubicle. I left work to do this photo shoot. They're like, well, you're in the band, right? I'm like, I don't know.
I guess.
I think so. Like,
sort of.
I think so.
Nobody's saying anything.
Yeah, no one said shit. Like, just ask them.
Yeah.
I'm scared. But yeah, crazy fucking time. But
Yeah, so okay, so then now you're slowly like, you know, you're in the band whether you know it or not, and you're touring with them and doing that. So you quit the job that you had, and so like what like as far as like that must have just been crazy being out on the road. I you know, I have some experience of touring with CKY and being on the road with the band, but then also sort of like we always said the CKY videos, like that group of guys, sort of like a band without the music, in the sense that we're touring all over the place and you know, you're partying like crazy, and like how did that
very similar lifestyles.
Yeah.
And it's funny, like I was telling you earlier, like our band, like, we were always watching the CKY videos and the, you know, the all the fucking Big Brother videos. And then when Jackass came around, we were all like, dude, it's like both those things like merged. Like, dude, fucking rad. We were like stoked. But yeah, dude, like all your shit, we're all huge fans of you.
Yeah,
guys, like,
that's awesome.
All your stuff, like, and but yeah, like, you know, that lifestyle that we both, you know, encompassed is like, it's a tricky thing. It's like you're like, you have this invincible thing when you're on tour. You're like, you can do whatever you want. Every day is Friday. Yeah, right? Like, every day's Friday. It's not, dude, it's fucking Friday. I can drink tonight. I can fucking snort coke if I want tonight on the toilet seat. No fucking problem.
We don't even gotta wait till tonight.
Yeah. I'm only responsible for like 9:45 p.m. tonight where I gotta be on stage.
Yeah.
And I'm done. I can do whatever. Like, I can eat KFC all day long.
Yeah.
You know, like, but yeah, it's weird. Like, it was so awesome, like, doing that. You know, the first few years when you're doing that shit when you're in your 20s, you're like, fuck yeah, it's awesome. You know, it still is awesome. But yeah, what a different lifestyle I was living back then. Just going for it. You know,
I know. It's just wild. And yeah, I mean, I was thinking that, like, you're like, oh, I got to be on stage at 9:45. Like, my thought was like, I got to walk out and say, hey, here's the band. And that's all I had to do. So I could be completely fucked up to do that. And then I had to jump off of a balcony or something. So then it's like, well, the more fucked up I am, the easier that fall is, too.
Peeing on the electric fence.
And then peeing.
I would ask the questions. So that was like, was that in the morning you guys shot that? Like, you were just wake up and you're like,
middle of the day. Yeah.
Were you drunk, or were you just like, you and Bam were like...
I was drunk for like a decade, so I would say yes. That was the thing. So Jackass was with us, and we were, because, you know, we would film randomly. Right. Then Jackass, like Jeff and Knoxville would come into town. Sometimes Steve-O and Dave England and those guys. But they would come into town. We'd film maybe for a couple weeks with them. But then when they weren't around, we were filming a ton too. And a lot of that stuff, either if it was too bad, like if it was like the electric fence, or if it was the running full speed shit
goose.
Yeah. Like if it was that stuff and they couldn't put it on Jackass, because like I always laughed, they had this rule like in the contract, and it said it in writing, like no spreadable butt cheeks. so like,
You're like, there goes half our shit. You know, like,
yeah, exactly. Like if you put the thong on, then you're okay. But if you're just naked ass, like the jock strap.
Yeah, I was gonna say the jock strap. Yeah,
those butt cheeks are spreadable, so we weren't allowed to have that on MTV, and so I doubt that's the rule now. MTV, I feel like, just puts anything on, but then you couldn't do that. So that kind of stuff, any of those things, you're like, all right, well, that's gonna be like the runoff of that is gonna end up being a CKY3,
right? And
that's what ended up happening. But the that's what happened with the electric fence thing. Was we were planning to do it with when Knoxville was there. He was like, dude, Rab, will you do that? And I'm like, yeah, all right, I'll do it. I'm like, I'm not excited about it, but but sure. And then I'm all in my head like, is my dick gonna, like, what's gonna happen to my dick? You know, like is it gonna not work after that? Like what, like, you know, what's going on? Like, is it just zapped and then it's limp forever? Like, so
what was that like? Was that I want to know, because so I watched it so many times.
so the thing is, like, when I first was going to go do it, Knoxville's there, and they didn't, they couldn't get the fence to go on.
Okay.
So they're like, I don't know why we're not getting it on. Whatever. We'll fix it. We'll get it to work.
And you're just sweating, going, okay,
I'm like, sweet, I'm out of this one. I'm totally out of this. You know, I don't have to do it. And then, like, I think Knoxville and Tremaine left, and it was like maybe a day or two later that they call the owner of the farm calls up Bam and is like, hey, we got it fixed. It's all working. You guys come on over and film. And they're like, shit, well, Jackass just left town. But he was like, but Rab, you got to do that. And I was like, fuck. I thought I got out of it. Yeah. You know? and then it's like, well, you got to do it and we'll put it on CKY. And it's like, all right, cool. So yeah, I definitely was drinking because I needed to be able to pee. So then it was like, all right,
it was fucking freezing. You're in the snow too.
Yeah,
you're wearing a cape.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like those days, like I loved just putting on random weird outfits. Yeah. And if it's like you're hanging out like just in a jock strap, or you're hanging out with just with a cape on, like I just thought that shit was funny.
That was awesome. Yeah.
You know, you're just like, the people were like, what the fuck is he wearing? You know, and so that was to throw the cape on and go be the hero of the day. You know, and it was like we get over there and like I'm like praying on the way over, like just let this fucking thing break again. You know, let come on, why does it have to work? And it's fucking freezing. So we're out there, and then Bam's wanting to get this camera all up in my little ass winter dick. You know, I'm like, get out of here. You know, like he's like, come on, we got it. Yeah. He's like, we got to see it. I'm like, fuck, I gotta just expose my little shriveled dick to everybody. And so then like you get out an angle where you know you can see the piss coming out. But anyway, so like. I'm getting up to the thing and I'm like, fuck, like, all right, I'm gonna like grab it. I feel like I had grabbed a electric fence before in my life, but I just wanted to know like, what is the voltage of this thing? So I grabbed it.
You grabbed it, yeah.
You grab it a little bit and it like gets you like right immediately, like you like tense up, sort of like a stun gun.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, all right, so the stun gun, like feeling, okay, so that's gonna go into my dick, you know? And it's like, all right. And then he's like, come on, piss, dipshit. And I'm like, I'm trying, but I'm scared. So then I can't piss either. You know,
you're scared, and it's 30 degrees out too.
Yeah,
you're like, fuck.
Yeah. So I'm like with tweezers trying to get this little dick to piss, and then as I like start to piss, like, it goes and it's like at first it's like a normal stream. So that's the stream that hit. And then it's like the normal stream hits and it's just like that same little feeling that you get in your hand went to my dick. But then it was fucking weird because right when that happened, I jolted and then it was like all like the piss was going everywhere. So then there was no more of a shock. It was just through the water or the piss for that second.
Okay.
And then it was like, so it like jolts a little, and then I was like feeling that, and it's like, oh fuck, and then all of a sudden I'm thinking in my head like, I could just taste tinfoil in my teeth, and it was like literally like if you had like tinfoil on your fillings, in my teeth. And then I'm like, oh fuck, is this gonna like fuck my head up? Like, cause then I'm all freaked out. I was like, at first I was worried about my dick. Now I'm worried about like, how the fuck did that happen in my mouth?
Yeah, what's going on here? Like, what is this? Oh shit! Like,
yeah. So then it's like this like fucking tinfoil feeling in my teeth, and then I'm more worried about my teeth. But then like then I was like, okay, it calms down for a second, and then I kept pissing, and it didn't really, like, it was like, it didn't really hurt or anything, like, I didn't feel any tingles, so I was like, okay, cool, like, and then, like, as I'm done, whatever, I'm like, okay, I can piss, and it doesn't burn, it's nothing, like, I didn't feel like gonorrhea, so it's like, I don't have a Z-Pack, but so I'm like, peeing that, and then afterwards on the ride back, I just was like trying to work up a boner just to make sure that like I could still get a boner. Like I gotta make sure this thing, like everything's still working, and it was fine, and everything's good. And
I bet like the first time you beat off or had sex, you're kind of like, this might be scary.
Yeah.
Warning everybody.
Fire might shoot out of my dick. I can't promise anything.
Dude.
But yeah. So though that was I mean it wasn't that bad. But it wasn't like I want to hurry up and do it again.
Yeah, totally. See, I like this behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I want to know. Like, I want to ask him that.
Yeah.
It wasn't like the 19 X-Lax.
Yeah.
And the running.
Yeah, the full box of X-Lax. Yeah, like, well, that was the fun part, was because like. It was like take 2 to 4 of them if you're feeling like you need some relief. And then I was like, well, we got to make this thing happen soon, so I'll just eat the whole thing. So it was 2 slabs of 9 chocolates, and I just ate the whole fucking thing. And then, and then it comes down to like, all right, we're sitting there, and Bam and Jess, like Bam's brother, like, well, you got a shit or what? I'm like, I don't know. Like, it's not really doing it. It's like, this is like 20 minutes later. So I'm like, why is it not?
Right.
Then I had like just this little, like, almost like maybe 2 sips of coffee. And it was like, I was like, oh, get the camera. Because it's like, like, and that in those days I was just hanging out in a jockstrap. So I was just sitting around in that. I used to go to the bar just in the jockstrap. That's awesome. And just hang out. And we were lucky because like Westchester was a town where like they just loved that we were like, we were the guys from there on that show. And, and so they just like, we knew a couple of the bar owners, and they just were like, yeah, come on in and just fucking be maniacs and whatever. And so, so it was fun, just to go in and be hanging out in the jockstrap and like, just drinking, and so so that I was already ready to go, and it was like, dude, and then Bam gets on the skateboard and we run full speed shit, and then I call my mom. I told this whole story, like I went up on stage one time just to tell a story, and the whole story was like that after I shit, like full shit out the back, I like it's all over, right? And I go around to the side of it's Bam, and his parents and his brother had all lived together at this time. This like Bam bought this big house. It was like the first big house they had. All his skateboarding stuff had taken off, and it was like a house in a neighborhood, So it was like this nice family neighborhood. And I walk around to the side and fully like just spread my asshole, and I'm spraying the hose up my ass, trying and spraying the shit like off of my nuts and everything, and I fully take it down, and I'm like, as I'm spraying it up my asshole, I like looked through my legs, and I see the neighbor, and the neighbor guy's standing there holding his like 5-year-old daughter's hand, and they're both just looking right up my asshole, like, and I'm like, oh, okay, and I, like, pull the jockstrap off. There's shit everywhere, and it's like, and there's shit all on my nuts, and I'm just standing there like, hey,
scarred for life.
So,
Dad, what's that?
Yeah. So,
it's our neighbor's friend.
Yeah.
Shit his pants.
There's obviously he's got to clean up, But then I call my mom because I'm like, dude, I just took this whole box of X-Lax. This is a problem. My mom's a nurse, and
okay, that's good.
And I call her, and she's like, Christian, like, why did you do that? I'm like, well, because Mom, we're filming this bit like where I had to shit while I was running. So like, she's like, okay, like what? Why did you take the whole thing? Like, if you can dehydrate from all the like diarrhea, like, and I'm like, all right, well, what do I do? Like, and then she's like, well, okay, let's take some Imodium to try to counteract the X-Lax. So I took Imodium, and then that stops you from shitting, but it doesn't stop all of the hell that's going on in your stomach. So like you're feeling like, oh my God, I'm gonna shit, and you run over to the toilet, and it's like sit down, and you're like, nothing. I don't have to shit. And then, I'm confused the whole time. But the rest of that story is we end up going out to the bar that night and we're hanging out. And I go into the bathroom and I fucking shit. And I squatted over the toilet because there's like piss all over the seats. So I squat and I just sprayed shit all over the whole toilet and there's shit everywhere. And then come out of the bathroom, just like this swampy ass, soaking wet. Everything is just like a fucking mess. I'm like, oh, and I feel like shit. I feel like hell. Bam comes over and he goes, dude, you see that blonde hair girl over there? I was like, okay. He's like, dude, she's India. And I was like, man, not tonight, dude. And he's like, no, you got to. And I was like, fuck that. And then she comes walking over talking and I'm like, oh man. And then I'm talking to her. End up bringing her home to Bam's parents' house. We go in there and we're getting at it and she's on top of me and full on I'm like, oh, I'm gonna shit. I'm gonna shit. I'm gonna fucking shit right now. And I farted a little and then shit came out in between my butt cheeks, and it was like, oh no, and I'm like, oh, and I was like, hey, I was like, I need to I need to go get some water or something. And so I push, I get her off the top of me, and I'm trying to squeeze out of the bed, slide out of the bed. I'm like, there's gonna I'm thinking oh my god, there's gonna be a shit trail across the bed, because I just sliding out, and I somehow slide out without getting it on the sheet, but as I'm walking out, I could feel it just drip down the back of my leg. And there's just this runny shit water going down my leg. And then I finally get into the toilet and shit. It's I shit before I sit down. As soon as I was going to sit down, it was and I slid on the seat. And there's this poop fucking everywhere. And I'm trying to wipe it off. Then I had to go get water to try to pretend no, see, I really needed water. And, but it was so awkward. And then the next morning, Bam told her that I shit everywhere and all this shit and showed her the video of me shitting full speed. And then she awkwardly left. It was so fucking weird.
I'm just going to go.
Yeah, she's like, oh, weird, someone's calling. Yeah. And then just out of there. But so that was this shit storm that happened from that.
Yes, it wasn't just that part you saw. There's a whole 36-hour period of this whole other story that we don't know about. But I've been wanting to know. I've been wanting to know more about it. So,
dude, and the one. I don't know if I've told this story on the podcast, but I tell the story sometimes too. The one you were talking about earlier when I shit on the window in New York.
Yeah, that one's amazing, dude.
So so we get up and it was one of those mornings because Bam was he was up early for some reason and he's jumping on everybody's bed I can't sleep. And he's get up, let's film something. And I'm oh, so I get up and I'm oh my God, I gotta shit so bad. And he's what can we do with it, And then we're all right, so I get downstairs and I had this weird ass outfit on, some NYPD cop shirt and some glasses and whatever.
Perfect attire.
Yeah. And it was right outside of the hotel was this glass window where people were eating breakfast, and I was dude, I'm gonna shit on that window. He's fuck, you won't fucking do that. And I'm yeah, I'm just gonna I'll just press my ass against it and shit. And then but I knew it was gonna be a runny shit. So so I go out and do this, and I'm over there and I press, and as soon as it was awful because I was a kid. I didn't give a shit about anything at that point, and right now I would probably never do this to somebody's grandparents. But I saw these old folks and I was they're gonna give the best reaction.
Yeah.
So if it's a dumb kid eating breakfast, they're just gonna bro. But this one, they're gonna be fucked up over this.
Yeah.
So I go up, press the ass, shit full, and they're flipping out inside that they're banging the window, knock it off, and then they're trying to call the waitress over to get me to stop, and finally, so the shit leaks down. Come running out. Come running back. We're going towards the hotel, and Bam's meeting me with the camera because he's across the street with the camera, and he's coming and he meets me there, and we just start running through the lobby, and we're going up, and we were trying to get the elevator, but we couldn't get the elevator, so fuck it. So we're gonna run up the steps.
Stairs, yeah.
So we're running up the steps, and laughing, and he's filming it, and he's dying laughing. I'm laughing. There's shit running all over my legs, and we're laughing all the way up, and we get up to the thing, and his girlfriend at the time was in the hotel room. We bust in, I come in immediately, I jump in the shower and start spraying down the shit, and it's just this, my pants, I'm pulling them down. Bam's looking through the thing. He goes, "Oh, dude, fuck."
You didn't record?
He goes, "I didn't record the part when we were running up the steps, and it's so fucking funny. Like, we have to do it again." I'm like, "We can't like fake the laugh. That was the laugh."
Yeah.
And he's like, "No, come on, we got to do it because like this shit's funny, but that'll be funny. Like the running up the steps is funny." I'm like, all right, like bummed because like I'm like, just it is what it is, you know.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, all right, I guess we'll go do this laugh. Not even thinking that I have these soggy, wet, shitty pants that are like these shorts or whatever that are in the bathroom. So I'm putting those back on. I'm like getting these shit pants that are soaking wet back on, and I get them on, and then we go in and we get in the elevator and we go down. As we're going down, we go down the elevator. We get to the lobby. Lobby door opens up. And it's the old people that were eating right there outside of the fucking thing. And I'm like, oh shit. And then you just run right past them, soggy shit pants. And they're like, hey. And like, we're running by. And then there was like a full real laugh again up the steps. And it totally ended up working out to be the full thing because they were staying in our hotel. And you're like, fuck, what are the chances that they're staying at this hotel?
Oh my God, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah. So we never actually got caught. They didn't know what room we were in,
right.
but it was was funny. So then the laugh was real.
Yeah,
and it worked.
wow.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, you're like, that cannot be more perfect.
Yeah, I know. It was like
Because you're like, fuck, we're gonna go do this fake laugh.
yeah,
Oh shit!
Yeah. It's like, oh shit! And then he's like, oh my God, they fucking see us. And then it's just crazy. And then the adrenaline and everything's running again, and you're laughing. And
So every time you're leaving the hotel and coming back, you're just like looking around the corner. Do you see him?
Yeah, for real.
Look out.
Yeah, we were freaked out. Like they're gonna end up figuring out what room we're in or something. And,
Dude, that's so gnarly. And the thing is too, like back then, like that's pre everyone having it like an iPhone, an Android, just being like, it's not right now. Everyone could just film you right away. Hey, there's that asshole right there. I have footage. Like,
and then they'll get
20 people filmed you. Like.
I know, man. The timing, I think, of that stuff was great because it kind of allowed for like the spontaneity of things.
Yeah.
Where now we're all so absorbed with our phone stuff that it's almost hard to like catch somebody. And also, like, this is like pre-YouTube, so now if you've seen so much crazy shit on YouTube, like if I'm shitting on a window, there's like, oh yeah, shitting on the window again. I feel like it's almost harder to like, push that envelope.
Well, even like that, and just like with you guys, I think even with filming like the last Jackass, the third one was like, if you guys are somewhere, right away they're like, oh fuck, there's Pontius. It's like right away fucking tweeting, and all of a sudden 500 people show up. You're like, fuck, we're exposed. We have to go. Like gig's gone. Like we're done. Like.
Yeah, I know, and I feel like they kind of did that with Jackass by going to Japan and stuff to try to like get to a place where no one you're kind of wandering around the world trying to not get caught
or incognito. Like, they don't really know like who.
Yeah.
Perfect. Like, it's priceless.
Yeah.
What a priceless time. That dude. Yeah. Epic, dude, epic stuff. Like, still watching to this day, it still makes us fucking laugh our ass off. Like,
yeah, dude, that's awesome, and it is fun, man. I've been talking to Joe Franz just about some of the old footage. He just he actually just like re-edited some things and put everything to HD, like all the CKY stuff. So those videos will probably get a release. I think they're coming out like there's a website that like will have it for a few months, and then it'll come back. Then it'll come out on iTunes again. It'll be like all updated and kind of look. And he's been going through that for months, so it's rad. And he'll put up a couple little clips from the new HD stuff that he's doing. It's just all the old videos, but just the new version of like the better digital stuff. And it's just cool to look back on. It's funny. I mean, it was one of the most fun times of my life, and I'm sure you have that similar feeling with your band. Like,
totally,
dude, it's so rad. And it evolves and shifts, and things change in life. And I think it's like you were saying in your 20s, like in those times, it's so fucking carefree that like I could never recreate that.
Right.
You could never recreate that, but it was so fun, and it's awesome to look back and go, damn, this is a time where like I just didn't give a fuck, and somehow I lived.
Very well documented time.
Yeah.
Like, the whole world knows what I was doing.
Yeah, and it's wild. We talked a little bit about the Haggard documentary stuff that talked about addiction and stuff like that. And Novak going through the heroin stuff and me going through the alcoholism and just looking back now, you know, it's like, man, I'm not quite there yet, but coming up on 10 years and it's crazy that a decade has gone by that I haven't drank, and I also look back and think like, well, I haven't drank or done drugs, I'm clean and sober, but just to look like, oh man, it almost feels like I never did. And then when you look at those videos, you're like, I definitely, I definitely indulged.
There's a reminder.
Yeah. And it's wild. I mean, I know, you have, not a similar story in the sense like we're all have similar stories, but very different at the same time, and it's just got to be wild, you know. I think I'd love to hear a little bit about some of your days where it's like, man, you're on the road, you got these crazy tour stories, and then what led to like, oh, I gotta kind of think about what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely like a progressiveness to it. You know, I was that guy growing up that never drank or did drugs ever. Like I tried drinking once when I was like 16, and I was just like, like that was it. And then I didn't smoke weed until I was like 19. But when I started smoking weed, it was like, holy shit, like I found God.
I have arrived.
But it was like after the races. Then I tried coke when I was like probably like 23, or I tried coke, and I tried it. I remember being so scared of that, and it was like that was like a whole nother level. You know, it was like, dude, 'cause I remember smoking weed. It was like I remember like kind of being afraid to tell my friends, like some of my best friends, like Tyler, dude, I smoked weed yesterday. Like, what? You know, like it's like, dude. But when I did coke, that was like fuck. Like holy shit, you know. But I did it, and then when I did that night, I did it all night. It wasn't like, oh, let me have a little bit, like a gentleman, you know, like like I'm gonna have a
not too many people, just one little.
One
that's
little
all I
toot,
need.
You know, that's all I need. I'm good to go. Like,
I'm the lab rat back there, like more.
Exactly. I'm just fucking. Next, you know, I'm like walking around shady ass parks at 4 in the morning. We got stuff. You know, like I was doing weird shit, you know. But it progressed, and then like, you know, again, like that mentality of, you know, touring, like what we're doing, and that invincibility, and just, you know, like, going places, and people know who you are, and like, dude, let me buy you drinks.
Absolutely.
Hey, we got some fucking shit. You want to hang out? Like that.
You're like, oh, it's all free? Sweet.
Yeah, always. You know, and everyone, no one really saying no to you.
Yeah.
And I just kind of fell more and more into that, and I think. Besides that, I just had more things going on. I realized, I mean, I have an addictive personality, I realized, but I also have, like, you know, I suffer from not enough, you know, whether it not be cocaine or it don't be fucking Ben and Jerry's. Or we didn't hang out long enough. Like, you know, man, it wasn't long enough.
More.
Yeah, I need more.
And well, you know what? I wanted to talk a little bit about the cocaine thing just for a second, just because for me with that, it was funny because like when you said you were scared of it, I had a similar feeling, and I always thought like, I'm like, God, I would never go out there and do like some PSA on like, here's your brain on drugs, and here and swan dive into an empty pool. But like, because those were like the commercials when we were kids, you know, like saying like, oh, this is what it is. Here's your brain's on drugs. I always felt like, nah, like, here's the thing. It sounds scary. And then once you do it and you go, oh, it's not scary, then you go, oh, all right, I can do a lot of it. And I can just keep doing it. And then you're like, and then you're not like, it doesn't take over your whole world like the minute you do it. So you slowly shift in, and then all of a sudden, before you know it, you're a slave to drugs and alcohol, but you don't know it while it's happening. And it's like, it's so fucking like, cunning and baffling and that stuff. So that happens like over time, and so like when I was a kid, the here's your brain on drugs, here's the swan dive into the pool stuff made me feel like, no, the second I do it, I'm gonna feel like addicted, and I'm gonna be like, oh God, I need more. And then when I didn't feel that way, that gave me like freedom to go, all right, cool, let's keep exploring, let's keep doing it, doing it. And that's where I slowly, all of a sudden, you know, like before I know it, then I'm hooked. But it wasn't this instant, like, I'm immediately addicted and I'm immediately that. And I always felt like that message was kind of misconstrued because as a kid, you think like, oh, that's the most dangerous thing. It's terrible. You're going to die, whatever. And it's like, it slowly gets you. And I don't know about you, but a lot of my friends that have died are as a result of did it for a long time, grew to be really, you know, tolerant of massive amounts of things, and then got clean, got sober, for a little while. Maybe it's usually 9 months to a year, and then go back, and then that's when they die.
Yeah.
And so, like, it's this whole other thing. And the message I had always received when I was a little kid was like, it's the big bad wolf, and don't, you know, and it's like, it's actually kind of cool and fun, and it's all these other things, and then it gets your ass. So like, so like that to me was like, say the real thing. Like, no, it's actually going to be fun. It's going to make you feel great. It's going to do all that stuff, and then like, come on, it'll make you feel good, you know. but it will, and then before you know it, you're fucking almost 30 years old, and I was going belly up on a mortgage. I was moving back in with my mom, fucking my finances up, fucking everything up. I had flipped my car, almost killed myself. Like, you know, like lots of other stuff had happened, and it was like, ugh. But even in the midst of all of those things, I'm going, I think I got a lot of problems, but I don't think it's the drinking and the drugging.
Yeah.
I think that stuff's cool. I think that's what's helping.
Yeah.
You know?
It's not this.
Yeah.
Dude, totally.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? Like, growing up too was Dare. You remember Dare?
Yeah.
Like that shit. I remember when
drugs
Dare
are really excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That shit, like, I was very like, fuck yeah. Because I remember when they came to where I grew up in Thousand Oaks, I remember when Dare came to our school, and it was Officer Tiffany, that was my guy.
Yeah.
That came, and he was the one, and I was just so like, all about it. And then there was they kind of instilling that fear into you.
Yeah.
You know, like kind of like what, you know, what news media does. It's just like the first 20 minutes of the news is just fear based.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like, and up next a squirrel that surfs, you know, like here's Tippy the squirrel.
It's like, oh my God.
And like you're saying, like when you're first doing it, you're like, you know, you do it, and you're like, oh, it wasn't that bad. You know, it is. Like you kind of like, it's like anything in life, you kind of conquer that fear, or you approach it and do it, and you're like, oh, like, okay, well, what's next?
Game on.
Try it. Game on. Yeah. And then again, and it wasn't like it was right away. You're right. It took some time. You know, it took some time to really reel me in, and it was like shit was like burning down all around me. Yeah. And I'm just like, no, it's not that, is it? It's like, no, it's because they're playing with fire. That's not fire. Like, the whole house is burning. Like, you sure? Like,
weird.
Yeah, you know,
I don't believe you.
Yeah, you just sold your car.
Yeah.
What? Like, because I'm not driving it. No, you sold it for drugs.
Yeah,
you sold it because you wanted to support your drug habit.
Exactly.
Like,
but you make up all these other reasons why, and you believe that.
Yeah. Absolutely,
you know, and then, you know, I had done a thing where I was, this was after the Viva La Bam stuff, and I was trying to figure out what the hell I'm going to do for a living. And I was actually bartending. And
perfect job to try to get clean.
Yeah. So totally
Let me bartend.
Yeah. So there's drugs and alcohol there for free. And I'm doing that, and then I'm borrowing money from my mom, from my brother, to pay my bills after I had already lost my place, like my house or whatever. So then I'm borrowing the money to pay the bills, but then I'm using the money I'm getting at the bar to get drugs, and then I'm getting free alcohol at the bar. But in my mind, like, at least I wasn't using my family's money to buy my drugs.
Justifying it.
But it's like, dude, if you don't buy the drugs with the money you made at the bar, you could pay your bills.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, but I justified it and believed it whole fucking heartedly.
Totally.
Until I got sober and was like, oh my God, that's the dumbest shit I've ever, you know, like.
I would never fucking do that. Like, what? What was I doing? Like,
But I was, you know, and I was so embarrassed, I think, too, to have, you know, been on television and all these other things, and then people, you know, at the place. I remember this kid had said the most awful shit to me, and I was like in a down place. I was suicidal. I was feeling like, you know, really bad. And this kid had said to me, like, man, you're working here? Like, God, I thought those guys from Jackass were dumb. Now I know they're dumb. And I was like, ugh.
Like,
you know,
ouch.
like that feeling of like, Jesus Christ. Because I think obviously the world thinks you're a millionaire, you made tons of money, you're this, all this stuff, but it's not the case. But so then kind of moving forward and trying to like pick up the pieces while I'm trying to get sober. And then I ended up getting sober while working at that bar, which I always thought was
great.
funny.
Good for you.
Know, because I always thought that was funny. Like, God has a funny sense of humor. I was helping a buddy. My one buddy owned a head shop, so I'm selling bongs and serving drinks while I'm getting sober. You know, so it was like it was crazy because I'm going to program and doing all that stuff, and it was like. This is probably the hardest situation to be in.
That's pretty hard. Yeah.
But I ended up, kind of working through that. And then after that, then it was like, okay, got my stuff together and I started working as a production assistant, like bottom of the barrel,
Humility.
Yeah, and just kind of doing that and working my way up and getting into the camera department. But not to say that being a production assistant is bottom of the barrel. I mean, that's considered the low position.
No, but I know what you mean, yeah.
But it's awesome because I learned a lot, and it was humility, dude. It was really like, dude, you're nothing special. Just chill out and do this, and you're lucky you can do this, and it really has helped so much, on the path of sobriety and
absolutely
being able to kind of get that humble pie, and it happened.
And it's funny too. We know they're saying working at a bar and getting sober. That's awesome. And, and it's like that too when you first.
That doesn't work for everybody.
Yeah,
though.
For everybody. I mean, that's why I always tell my band. People. They ask me, is it hard? I'm like, it has its moments being on tour because, 90% of the time I'm playing in a fucking bar.
Yeah.
Or I'm playing a theater, but it's usually a bar.
Yeah.
And, I'm always around it. I mean, I'm not like, it'd be different if I'm playing like Colombia or Medellin all the time and I'm like in a fucking Coke factory. It's like, I wouldn't be doing that.
Yeah.
But it's challenging, but
yeah, I wondered that. Like when you I would love to hear so when you got sober, like were you guys touring or did you have to chill for a little while on the tour?
I had some time when I got sober. I went to rehab. It's crazy because I went to rehab out in Thousand Oaks. It was weird when I got sober. That last time I relapsed, my band went on tour without me. They were like, all right, we got a guy filling in. You need to get help. And and I was, at that time, I gathered up a few more weeks of clean time because I had another crazy fucking relapse before that. It was, each time was like, dude, you're,
worse and
you're
worse,
gonna fucking die.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna die.
Yeah, for real.
Like, it was just like.
But it's so weird because in your head you're like, it's not that bad, and then everyone else is like, you're like got one foot in the grave, bro.
Yeah, exactly. It was, it was scary, and when that last relapse, I had it together, and then eventually, everyone fucking found out about it pretty quick.
Yeah.
And then I remember the texts I was getting from people. It was gnarly, it was a lot of like, fuck you, and then a lot of like, what do you want to get buried in? Like a suit? Or like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, dude. But there's one person, my friend Heidi, was the one.
That's real.
She was the one that was texting me going, hey, like, I'm not giving up on you. Like, there's this place called Music Cares. Like,
hell yeah.
Just, will you please text me when you can? She was, very sweet. And I finally did. Something happened where I finally, reached out, and I didn't know what Music Cares was, but, they're an organization that funds musicians into rehab, and is exactly what I needed because I blew all my fucking money I made on tour in 3 weeks.
Right.
Just 3 weeks.
Of course.
It's like, dude, what are you doing?
Get me a pile of cocaine. Here's the cash.
I'm going to stay in a hotel because that's, what, people do.
What's so funny, too, not to cut this off, but to think, when we were talking about, when you were touring around the world and you're doing all these things, there's tons of people waiting to give you coke and all this other stuff. But your addiction and my addiction progressed so far that it's like, all the free stuff's great. That we'll take that. And then we need more. So I'm going to need to buy more with all the money we just made tonight. So it's just, it's good. I calculated it, and I was like, I had a $40,000 a year habit when I looked at what it was. And that's pretty low compared to some other people, but it's pretty damn high when you look at most people in the U.S. fucking, salary is $40,000. Yeah. So it's like, God damn, I was wasting $40,000 in those years of drinking and drugging and buying whatever. It's like, it's insane.
I could have bought a Panamera, a Porsche Panamera, the first year, which is all the money I spent on coke. It's like, no, I got priorities. It's it's like, what are you doing, dude?
Listen, in my mind, I'm going way faster than that Porsche ever would.
Yeah. I got this. I got it all figured out. But yeah, man, dude, that first, getting sober, it was scary, it was kind of scary, there's fear involved, especially going in. I mean, my case, I had to go to rehab. It was just I was gonna die, I was stuck in a hotel room, fucking a 12-day bender. Every time I chugged a fucking bottle of Jaeger, my kidneys just went every time. I wasn't eating. It was gnarly, and I kept doing it. I was just trying to kill myself. I was trying to be that person found by a maid. I wanted a hotel maid to find me on the ground because I was too chicken shit to just hang myself.
Yeah,
Even
right.
I was struggling with depression, and I still do.
Yeah.
But yeah, getting sober,
gnarly. It was, it was crazy. And I, going to rehab, I felt like a failure. Then after remember the first week being there, I was very like, fuck, fuck and goddamn fuck. And then fuck you. What am I doing here?
Fuck
I'm a
you,
loser.
fuck me.
Yeah, fuck this, And then after a week, it kind of I was like, you know what? It's all good, And then I was the first week too, when I was doing all the fuck you, fuck this, I was like, oh my God, I'm out of my band. Oh my God, I'm not going to be Chris from Strung Out anymore. Oh my God. And that was this identity. It's
right.
And then after 2 weeks, it was I'm cool. It's all good. I had, at this time, it was 14 years of the band. It's it's all good. If I come back and they fire me, it's all good.
Yeah.
Thank you. I saw the world, and I can do anything. And I learned, I'm like,
right.
I'm not Chris from Strung Out. I'm Chris Aiken. You're not, Rab from fucking CKY. You're Chris Rab, You learn this thing, and
it is about refining that identity and not being wrapped up in what.
Exactly what that does for us, being, and that could be with anybody that has this connotation of their identity of where they think they are. It's just fucking be yourself, just be you, and be get humility. Learn about your character defects. I mean, all this shit I've learned in recovery. Fucking gnarly.
Yeah.
What a great thing to learn. I feel like,
amazing.
Dude, what if everyone did a 4-step? Every human being, instead of tax day, everyone in the fucking world does a 4-step.
Gotta take inventory.
Yeah, inventory. And then what you do is you go, and after you do your inventory, the next day you go to a stranger. So you're making a connection with a total stranger. Hey,
let me dump some
Chris,
shit on you.
Hey, I'm Chris too. You're at this coffee shop all the time. So you're the one. Oh, here, you're the one too. I'm gonna read this shit to you. So here I go.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, we probably have a better world.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
it would definitely be a lot more vulnerable and open to that, and I think it creates a better connection. What's funny when you're saying the defect, the character defects, those kind of things, and inventory. So when I had first, when I was kind of first getting sober, and I was in a bunch of meetings, and the kids would come up once in a while and go, oh, you're Rab from Jackass Viva La Bam, all that. Oh my God, did you really marry the Russian mail order bride? And I
forgot to ask about that, by the way.
Yeah. And so I literally was and I snapped on one of the guys. And I was like, dude, I'm not fucking here for that bullshit.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm here to save my fucking life, so I don't need to fucking talk about it. And I was kind of a dick. I mean, really a dick. And for a lot of those years with the Jackass Viva La Bam stuff, I really tried hard to be super nice to everybody.
Yeah.
Because I always hated if you're oh, I'm gonna go meet somebody that I like what they do, and then they're a dick.
Yeah.
So I was always really super nice, and I realized even kind of through the sobriety stuff is no matter how nice you are, people are gonna think you're a dick bag, and no matter how much of a dick are you, people are gonna think you're great. So there's always that both sides of the coin on that, and so I worked so hard to try to be so nice for so long, and it was at this moment where I realized the first time I was just a dick about that question, I was like, you know what? I've never been a fucking dick, and I need to be a fucking dick because me being so nice, I'm gonna fucking die.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna die because I want to do the shots with that guy, and I want to sniff some coke with that guy because they're never gonna get to party with me. And I'm like, what the fuck does that have to do with anything? And I'm risking my fucking life to do this shit, try to be Rab himself, and I'm gonna fucking die from that, And I realized that in that moment, on that first time where I was actually just a dick about it, and then I kind of came back, and it wasn't from there. I'm like, I'm gonna fuck you, fuck everybody. But it was a little moment where I was like, it's okay to be human and to have a moment where you feel like, you know what? Fuck, I don't feel like answering that shit right now. I'm trying to listen to what the message is about getting sober, and I'm trying to take care of myself. So I don't want to fucking talk about that right now. And that
you fucking
little
stand
moment,
up for yourself.
Yeah, and in that moment you felt like, okay, that wasn't the end of the world. I was a dick. I probably should say sorry about being a dick or whatever. But it was I realized it was okay to take care of myself, and not just to be whatever everybody else wants me to be,
Absolutely.
And that was a hard kind of jump, because it was just kind of the final admittance to okay, that run is over, and those little things are over, and then it's also a way to deflate ego, and just kind of go, you know what,
I love that too. I
for
love
the
just
moment,
getting
yeah.
rid of that fucking thing.
Yeah. And that was what it was. But it was difficult to do it, and you know, and I bring up the story because I still feel like I was a dick, but I needed
I didn't sleep
to
at all
be.
last night. This happened 4 years ago. I still haven't slept. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like that shit comes up. You know?
Yeah, and it does. And then you know, obviously the obsessive mind that we have is like then you do obsess over like well shit. And then it was funny because that kid then ended up saying something in a meeting like, I met those guys from Jackass and they're fucking assholes. Yeah. And it was like, all right, cool, whatever. You know, and I was always so worried about that though, like through those years, like I wanted everyone to think like, oh, okay, Rab is nice and like all this stuff. Like I wanted people to think that. And then when it's like, when that guy's calling me out for being an asshole, I'm like, it doesn't sting that bad, whatever.
Yeah, that,
you know?
that letting go of like, fuck it. Like, I don't care what you fucking think about me.
Yeah.
I'm here to save my life.
Look inside this bicycle. Some squirrel went up the hill and rode this road up, road down here. Look inside this sucker.
Get that, Rick.
Look at that.
Rick, get that.
We got a
Wait,
pine
what?
cone coming in.
Look at the size of
Look at
that
size
thing.
of that pine cone. That looks like a pineapple. Dude, that thing's huge.
Damn. Did it hit you? That hit you?
It rolled down here. I saw it roll down here.
Oh, damn.
Damn, that's gnarly. That thing's huge, dude.
Yeah, that thing's
I
got
think
a
it's the
thing that will
biggest
like
one I've ever
knock you
seen.
out.
Oh, it will.
I know.
Do little things, them little acorns, if it hit you, it'll cut you up.
Oh, hell yeah.
Those things are sharp. It'll hit you, it'll cut you up.
Damn.
I mean, you wouldn't want these fall on.
I know. I'm glad it didn't hit you, man. Go 76ers. Hell yeah.
This in the fire, this will burn all night.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Dude,
Nice.
you saw it here.
Don't get hit by that. But yeah, damn that the big ass like pine cone coconut
well,
thing or
someone
whatever the hell that
fucking
was.
sits us right now.
Yeah, bam! That's the end of that. But see, yeah, you know, but yeah, that I don't know. I just thought like. That was a good learning experience to figure out like, you know, you kind of got to take care of you first and foremost, and then you can worry about it there. And I for a long time tried to live up to that persona of, oh, I'm wild ass,
Right.
I'm this, I'm that, and then like, you know, and no matter what you did short of death, you know, like it wasn't gnarly enough. Like I mean, I never claimed to be the gnarliest guy. It's just that I did some things with shit, and I, you know, jumped off some buildings and did some things like that. But then you bump into people like, oh, we did shit way crazier. I'm like, I'm sure you did.
You're cool.
You know,
yeah,
like,
I don't care. Yeah.
yeah. And but I'm sure, like with you guys, you're in a, you know, you're in a punk rock band. People are probably expecting like wild shit. You know? Like
absolutely. I mean, the stories and like you were saying too, like. People think like, oh, like you guys own a tour bus, right? It's like, no, we don't own a fucking tour bus.
yeah.
Like,
You guys are rich as fuck.
we're fucking millionaires. It's like people in Simi Valley think that shit.
Yeah,
you know,
well, I mean, you guys
I
are
go-
a big band. You know, like you're fucking known all over the world. You know, so that's the thought.
Yeah.
But you then can say, hey, it's a business like anything else.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely,
And,
yeah.
and there's expense, and there's cost, and there's all that stuff.
There's
for
great
touring.
days and there's fucking shitty days.
Right. Like
You know,
anything else.
Feast and famine, you know, a lot
Yeah,
of times. It's
yeah,
hard, you
yeah.
know, like, but again, we're doing something we love, and I just keep chasing that in my life over the years, getting sober and just becoming more and more aware of me. And
Right.
like, and also like the best thing about helping other people.
Oh, dude,
and
yeah.
just coming more of that awareness of just like, I learned I keep chasing freedom now over materialism. Before I
Absolutely.
think I was chasing materialism
For sure.
and like what the ego can grab me. Now I'm like, I just want fucking freedom. I just want to be happy, and I just want to fucking help somebody
Yeah.
that I don't even fucking know. I just want to smile at a fucking stranger.
Hell yeah.
You know, just make someone's day, because you don't know what someone's going through. You know,
Yeah.
anything.
Oh,
It's like,
that's
I love
exactly it. You know,
That. It's
and
like the guy bringing the pine cone.
yeah. He almost
See
got
this?
hit in the head by
Yeah,
that
he
thing.
was dying. we almost had a death right next to us.
Exactly, dude. You know, and it's funny. I've been thinking about this like the past few days. It's crazy. I was telling my wife this just for some reason this like thought has been coming into my head is that the extraordinary moments are actually the ordinary moments. Like where I had thought for so long, like I gotta go do the biggest and baddest and greatest thing for it to be extraordinary, to prove like I traveled the world and I was, you know, I traveled with a rock band and I was on these shows and I was doing this and all this extraordinary shit. And really, these days in my life, being sober, being married to an awesome woman, and just having those moments, like and just like regular shit, like walking around like the neighborhood, on like a cool walk, and be like, damn, the stars there. I was like
this, this is extraordinary.
Yeah, like
Right
it's
here,
like that moment that you thought were ordinary moments are actually the extraordinary moments,
Right.
and like that's kind of what's been happening for me a lot. And this is rad. Like
Yeah.
we're just, I mean, there's a lot of wind from Rick's farts
Yeah,
over there, but
Rick's kind of overtaking the whole fucking. It's all about Rick today, apparently. Rick's ass.
well, yeah, but it's rad just to be sitting out in the middle of a park, both being sober, enjoying the day, and kind of, you know, and we're super lucky that we get to do what we love, you know. And,
Absolutely.
And you know, I make films. I just put out a little short film last week that was cool that I finally finished up.
Oh, awesome.
And I did a music video for 96 Bitter Beings, which is Darren Miller from CKY.
Oh, the old guitar
yeah,
singer,
he's doing a band doing that, and I just did a little music video for them, and that was fun to do. And you know, and you guys got a new album coming out, and it's like all that stuff is so rad, and it just feels like, you know, you can have it both ways, like sobriety, and it's a cooler way. Like for me, like that was a big thing my brother had talked about, like when I was really bad at a place, and there people were like, dude, like talking to my brother, saying you need to talk to your brother, he's in a bad place, and he said to me, like, dude, you have that. Or, like, you don't need drugs and alcohol to bring that stuff out. Like, you are, you know, I'm fucking crazy anyway. So it's like, I'm going to go shit on something without drugs and alcohol, or I'm going to go make a video or make a funny something or whatever. You have that without the drugs and alcohol. And I think for time period, I thought I needed that stuff as my fuel to be able to be creative and to do that. And I realized through sobriety that that's not true at all. And it actually kind of hindered. At some little point, it maybe helped a little, and then it began to hinder and stop you from doing the things that you love, and taking, like, you know, either filmmaking or music away from you. Basically, I mean, you're sitting in a rehab, and you're going, my band's moved on. Yeah. And you had to come to terms with that, which is awesome. But then you're still, now you're in the band, you're playing with the band, you're doing all that. Yeah. And it's like, we had to come to terms with it, but the drugs and alcohol almost took that shit. Yeah. You know, and it'll take everything.
The shit I thought I needed to fuel me to make the show,
I
don't need it. You know? And it was a weird thing too, like that first year going on tour, you know, it was like, all right, I'm going to Europe. Fuck. You know, like, and it was cool that, like, after like 2 weeks, it's like, fuck, I'm having some moments, you know, like, you know, it get hard. I wasn't like, you know, walking by a bottle and just like, no, but, you know, it was just.
Somebody stick that.
Yeah, like, there's this moment, so it is, and it was challenging, you know, and then I just started meeting, you know, more and more musicians that were sober, and that helped, you know. It's like, you know, it's always great to go to meetings and, you know, because there's always something you can get from something in there.
But yeah, like that's what I was wondering, was like that first kind of back on tour thing. Like, that's got to be hard. I feel like a lot of musicians that go to rehab and then go back on tour, like, that's like playing with fire. Yeah. But it's your livelihood, so you have to do it. It's what you love, and you can't, like, not do what you love. But at the same time, how long was it before you went back on tour?
It was a few months. I remember having my first show, and that was weird. I mean, I had a weird thing, because my last few years of my addiction, I would be sober on tour, because I was trying to be like, all right, I'm trying to get sober, and I'd be sober on tour and be like, I want to play good for the fans and be all good and eat healthy and, like, lose weight, and then, like, I'd be good. Then when I come home, like, 2 days had passed, and I'd fucking go on gnarly benders again, and I'd just be stupid. But like, so I remember, like, playing that first show. I remember we were in Phoenix. We had these two shows where it was like the Vandals, Dead Kennedys, and the Misfits. Like, all of us played together, and we played Phoenix. And I remember just kind of being like, I went outside before we played, and it was kind of like stretching and kind of going, all right, you know, just full pep talk to myself, just kind of like, all right, dude, like, I can do this. I've played shows sober, you know, like, not doing this, but, like, it just feels different. Because I'm not. Before, I was this. I was in between relapses. I wasn't, like, sober. Right. You know, I wasn't fucking this guy that's who he is now. You know, and it was different, you know, and I remember doing that and going, again, it was fear. It was a little bit of fear, a little, you know, apprehensive to it. And I said, you got this. You got this. And when we were doing that first show, it felt good. Then we did the next show, felt good. And then it was like, all right, we have a tour in, like, 3 months coming up. And we went to Europe. And, it was, the first year, I think with anybody in their first year of recovery, it's a roller coaster.
Right.
It's nice getting validated every, month you get a chip, then another month you get a chip, and then you constantly getting these awards to kind of be like, hey, keep going.
Yeah.
But then you're like, I got to go back and work, and I do this crazy shit where I'm around booze and fucking drugs, and I don't sleep, and eat like shit, whatever.
Yeah.
But it was definitely, that first year was kind of challenging, but again, it was I was aware of being smart on this and going, all right, keep connected with people, stay connected.
Yeah.
And the people were, we got a spider that joined the podcast now too. It was like the people in Music Cares, like the people in other bands I know that I was networking with and making more people just kind of checking in, going, hey. Just, even if it's just like a check-in, like texting, like, what up, dude? How you doing?
Yeah.
Hey, good. How you doing? Just checking in. Or then it'd be that time of like, fuck, can you call me? I'm fucking kind of like, I'm going crazy. And that's why I always think like it's great about the meetings with AA, NA, or Overeaters Anonymous, whatever it is you're in, you got like, like they always say like, the power of the group is something to be said. And it's like, like the day I'm going crazy is the day that you're not going crazy.
Right.
So I can call you. And the day that Rab's going crazy is the day that he can call me and I'm not going crazy and I can talk you out of it. So there's something to be said about that. And it's what it is? It's like I let go of my ego and I call people when I'm having a hard time. Because before I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be
I
able to
got
fucking,
this.
Yeah, because I'm a man.
Yarr,
I'm a dude.
yarr.
And I don't need therapy. Fuck you. I'm going to tell you how I'm feeling. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Give me a beer.
Yeah.
But
and now you realize like just the power and the strength and vulnerability, like
those are all like great things to have too. Like I do love being vulnerable. I do love having fear when it's something I go, all right, what is this? Like something's challenging me right now.
Yeah.
Something's telling me like this is like unknown to me. So go fucking towards it and fucking knock it down.
Yeah.
That's all it is every time. And you always do it and you're like, wasn't that bad?
Yeah.
I just did like a 19-inch line of cocaine. It wasn't that bad.
Well,
fearless, no problem.
Yeah, I had it back then, but now in the sobriety, I'm like,
Yeah, but now it's like it's something like
the monster in the closet that's really a coat hanger.
Yeah, really. And now it's just like life's, like life gets challenging. It is challenging when you don't have that thing to mask it or hide it. Where you're like, oh, I need a fucking drink. I'm stressed out. It's been a fucking hard week. It's like we don't get that.
Yeah. Got to do some breathing.
Yeah. I got to do some breathing. I gotta go fucking yoga up. But that's the shit we do. But like the shit that we get out of this and like the connection, the people I've met, like it's been incredible, man.
It really is.
The journey I've been on, it's. Like I always say, before it was a fucking merry-go-round. You're just getting dizzy, getting sick. It's just one thing, going in circles. Now, my life's it's a roller coaster. It's a ride. Yeah, it's actually something. It goes down, but sometimes it goes way up, and it's amazing.
Yeah. Hell yeah, that's awesome. So, did you guys just get off a tour, or did you just like do a few shows?
We're doing these. We just did these weekend shows called Sabroso Fest. It's like a taco beer festival. Like woo! Well, I can do the tacos.
Yeah, I can get down with the taco part of it.
Tacos and espresso for me.
It
was cool. It's actually the Offspring's tour.
Hell yeah!
Because he has a hot sauce. Dexter has a hot sauce called Gringo Bandito.
Oh hell yeah!
It's kind of like Tapatio kind of base. It's rad. It's really good. I actually like it better than Tapatio.
Nice.
But they've been doing this taco festival, so we're doing those like over the weekend. So it was like us, Bad Religion, Sum 41, Black Flag.
Fuck yeah.
So like seeing Valele,
Dude,
hanging out.
Hell yeah.
It was dope.
That's rad.
The Dwarves were on it too. It was rad. We did all those, and now we're just doing some weekend shows here and there. We go to South America in July with Face to Face. Then we start our touring in like September, like for the new record.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But I'm always just still grateful and just marveled that like I still get to be 16-year-old Chris. I still go to the music and I go, know what? That makes me a millionaire inside.
Hell
so I go, fuck yeah, I'm doing what I love. I get to fucking still play my guitar. Like, rad.
Dude, that's the best thing in the world.
I still get the shit in random places.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
And I shit some fucking scary ass places too. Like, as we know, on tour, you're like, look at this fucking rest stop, dude. Fuck, I gotta shit that. Like, I'm just gonna shit outside.
Yep.
I'm gonna shit in the fucking rocks over there.
Yeah.
But,
and then sacrifice a sock like we have here.
Yeah.
So new album is coming out in September, or?
It's coming out. I'm not allowed to say the date because
Okay.
it's a big surprise.
Around that.
But it's coming out. It's gonna be out in the
fall-ish?
summer. It's gonna be in the summer.
Okay.
Later summer.
Later
It's coming
summer.
out, yeah.
Yeah. Awesome, dude. Hell yeah. Well, that's rad. So
It's called Songs of Armor and Devotion. Yeah, that's what it's called. Songs of Armor and Devotion. I can't even talk. Songs. I'm still like mesmerized with a giant pine cone that's all next to us. It's like a sign of the universe. Like,
songs of pine cones.
songs of pine cone and devotion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Songs of Armor and Devotion. is
Yeah,
the name of
that's
the
rad.
record, and it's rad, man. I think it's our best record, and
Hell yeah.
I'm excited for our fans to hear it. You know, it's gonna be, and again, just excited to to play, just to breathe again. Like I always say, I always keep it like. I'm always grateful I wake up in the morning, man. Fuck.
Yeah.
What a fucking simple thing that gets overlooked by every
Yeah.
fucking human being.
I
when they're
know.
Complaining about something. I go, hey, man, we woke up today.
We woke up.
Fucking A,
yeah,
like, that's
that's
pretty
rad.
amazing.
You know, you can't guarantee that. So yeah, that's
Yeah,
cool,
the
man.
rest is just quality problems.
Hell yeah. Well, looking forward to hearing that new album, and everybody will have to check it out late summer. And dude, thanks for coming on
Dude,
the
thank you,
Bathroom
man.
Break podcast.
I was so stoked when Rick was telling me about this. Like, dude, I'd love to do
Here
that.
comes
Like,
Rick
you
with
kidding me?
another fart.
Yeah, dude.
blowing through, blowing us off
Perfect
the
timing. No, but dude, thank you so much, man. This is
Yeah.
awesome, man. I'm
Dude,
stoked to do this.
Hell yeah. Awesome. Thanks for coming on.
Fuck yeah.
Later.
Brett.